This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.
You are now listening to the Life in Football podcast. Check out the new website, lifeinfootball.com. Once again, the website is lifeinfootball.com. Thanks for listening.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Coach Timothy Gut Brown from Quincy, Florida. I was the boss of James A. Shanks High School from 1995 until the school closed. The last ride on Tiger Pride in early 2003. I was blessed with the opportunity to watch a young quarterback come in from Carter-Pamela. At the time, it was the middle school, by the name of Willie Simmons. And soon after watching this, he was a young man and a teenager at the time, come in and watching him play the position of quarterback at James A. Shanks High School. He came in with a package that hadn't really been seen since maybe 1987 by a quarterback by the name of John Hunt McNeely. But get into Willie Simmons, who will soon be named by me Willie Shotgun Simmons, because the trajectory of his passes with that cannon arm that he had, that right arm, was so powerful. It was like through a football, it was shot out of a gun. And I remember the first night that I saw him drop back, 5-step drop right there at court field. And when he threw the football, it looked like he shot it out of a gun. And I started calling him Willie Shotgun Simmons. And over a period of 3 years, James A. Shanks football, led by Willie Simmons, was an all-state quarterback there at Shanks. He was all Big Ben Player of the Year, and highly touted and highly recruited. Right there from small Quincy, Florida, James A. Shanks High School. His season ended in Jacksonville against a team that went on to win state. And that guy was he was a remarkable leader, passionate. He was a winner. And we won at Leon, on the campus of Leon High School, his senior year. And that has never been done by no Gadsden County team ever. He led us all white in white socks. And I remember the game started out kind of tight. He might have had a turnover. But after that, he scorched the legendary Leon Lions right there on the campus of Gene Cox, Leon High School, right there on campus. And have a lot of great memories of the road wins in Crestview against the Crestview Bulldogs. Willie Simmons was the real deal. Willie Shotgun Simmons. Those kind of players only come through once in a lifetime. So nothing catches me by surprise when it comes to Willie Shotgun Simmons. And what he's doing at FAMU right now is doing what he's always done. And that's win. And he got a great program. And I thank God every day for Willie Shotgun Simmons being able to watch him grow. So I appreciate this opportunity. And I appreciate this platform to just talk a little bit about Willie Shotgun Simmons. Thank you.
Q-Town, Quincy, Florida, stand up, baby. We got Shotgun, Ray Willie Simmons. That's right. FAMU head coach, Florida A&M University football head coach on the line today. And I'm telling y'all, this is going to be a very special episode, and it's real close to me because this is somebody I got to see up close and personal playing on the field. And then in the off season in high school, I saw him out there working out on his own. This guy, he was destined for greatness from the get-go. He was a baller in middle school, baller in high school, baller in college, and now he's doing his thing as a coach, and he's running a top-notch program over there at FAMU. I love watching FAMU football right now. They got that turf field, them nice-looking helmets, and he handling business, baby. Now, Coach Simmons, for y'all who don't know, he had coaching stints at Lincoln, Clemson, Middle Tennessee, Alcorn State, Prairie View, and now he's currently the head coach at FAMU. And not to mention, Coach Willie Simmons was a top-notch quarterback coming out of high school. I'm talking about one of the best I've ever seen in person. And when I was watching him as a young kid, it was an amazing event every time I got to see him play. I remember a time when I was at a game, and this was a playoff game, y'all. Coach Willie Shotgun Simmons, he rolled out to the left, he point to the end zone, and guess who catch the ball? Ronnie Thomas in the end zone, right to where he pointed to. And this was like a 50, 60-yard pass for a touchdown. And guess what? Him and Ronnie Thomas, that guy who caught that ball, I would sit there as a 7th or 8th grader and watch them throw during the summertime, make great passes. And I'm talking about doing the rod tree, doing fades. And turn around, I saw them doing these same plays in games. So I got to let y'all know, from me to y'all, Willie Simmons was destined for greatness from the get-go. He was a great person, just starting out the gate, man. I mean, coming back and giving to the community. He was always willing to speak with you, help you out, and he did that even when he was at Clemson. He would come back when I was at Shanks and come back and talk to us. And when I was a youngster growing up, he was even helping me doing my swimming lessons because he was a lifeguard. I'm telling y'all, man, Coach Simmons was already destined for this coaching position as a head coach. They even had him to come out and speak to us when I was in the 8th grade, and they had a test called the FCAT. They had him to come out there and hype us up. And he was only in the 12th grade, and they was getting ready to go play a playoff game. But it was such an amazing thing to see Coach Simmons and how he has grown and the person that he has become. He's a great representative for Gaston County. I love what he's doing, and I really appreciate all the things he's doing for the city of Tallahassee, man. Coach Willie Simmons and Alex Jackson have been doing a great job over there for them FAMU Rattlers, and I'm telling y'all, this is going to be an amazing episode. Y'all better sit back, relax, and take it all in, because we got Willie Shotgun Simmons on today. But without further ado, C-Mo, bring him on.
How you doing, Coach Simmons?
Oh, man, doing well. Mike brought back some memories there, man. Got me fired up over here.
Yeah, he got me ready, too. Hey, Coach, it's definitely a blessing to have you on, man.
No, man, it's an honor to be on, man. Glad to be on with you guys.
Coach, I want to jump right out the gate because a lot, like, we former players as well, and when we get done with school, sometimes you don't know what to do. I want to know, how did you figure out that you wanted to coach? Like, when did you know?
That's a great question, and I think it's a question that really drives me today to do what I do with my players. Because honestly, if we're being perfectly honest, I didn't know. And I'm a guy that came from an educational background. My mom was an educator here in Gaston County for 29 years before she fell ill and was forced to retire. And my sister's an educator now. My wife's working in the school system, so I grew up around teachers. And was a good student in school, and that was just something that I was always going to do. I was going to play ball, and I was going to make good grades. And saying all that to say, even being a guy that went to college and graduated in 3 years with a business degree, still to this day, the fastest guy to ever graduate from Clemson, I think Deshaun Watson tied it, 3 years from the time I enrolled. I was clueless. I had no job prospects. I had no thoughts about what I wanted to do. I was floating some ideas around about whether I wanted to be a sports agent, whether I wanted to be, a salesman, life insurance. I just knew I had a marketing degree, go to some marketing firm or whatever the case may be. I just knew I wanted to be around sports. And so what happened was, I didn't get an opportunity in the NFL. Came back to Florida and, really just kind of volunteered at the middle school, coaching there, until I figured it out. Went and played a year of arena football up in Iowa. And just so happens that as I was driving back home from Sioux City, Iowa in early August, a good buddy of mine, Yusef Shakir, who's now the head coach at Bradenton Manatee, was coaching at Lincoln High School, and just out the blue gave me a call while I was driving and asked me if I'd want to coach their quarterbacks. They had a position come open, unexpectedly, and just knowing the type of program Lincoln was and knowing that I didn't really have anything that I knew I was going to do at the time, I agreed to do it, just to kind of buy time until I figured this thing out. And once I got there and started coaching, that's when I fell in love with it. The impact I had with the guys, the relationships that I built around the players. I really fell in love with it because growing up, and Mike can probably attest, we had a different experience going to college than what it was in high school. I think when you come from a place like Quincy, that's a small town. Everyone knows everyone. We all grew up playing sports, loving the game. We knew the coaches that we were going to play for. We all had great relationships with those guys. And so it was just pure. But when we got to college and we started to see the business side of football, it kind of turned a lot of us off. And so I never thought about coaching because I said, if this is what college coaching is all about, I don't want any part of it because I just didn't have great experiences with the guys that I played for. And, talking to my friends who played college ball, we all had a lot of the same experiences. So it wasn't until I actually started coaching that I realized that I can have a profound impact on these guys and I can change the narrative, especially for guys that look like me, young African-American, young boys. So it wasn't until I actually started doing it that I fell in love with it. And I'm glad I did because there's nothing that I'd rather be doing now than coaching football.
Coach, man, that's a blessing because, like you said, a lot of us have no clue. Get degrees, don't got a degree, and you could be working at Lowe's with a 4-year degree because you don't have no clue what you want to do. Wasting time. But another thing is, once you figured out that you loved coaching, when did it click that, man, you know what? I can be the head coach. Because some coaches take that position route and they'll ride that position all the way through. Like what made it click on you that, I got more than just a position coach in mind?
Well, one thing about me, and I played quarterback my entire career. I've always been a leader. And so whatever I chose to do, like I said, I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but whatever it was, I knew that I was going to aspire to be the quote unquote boss at some point. If I had gone into sales, I wanted to own my own company and sell whatever it was I was trying to sell. If it was marketing, I wanted to be the president of a marketing firm. If I was a sports agent, I wanted to be one of the biggest sports agents out there. So regardless of what I was going to do with life, I always had a drive and a goal to be the very best at it and to get to the highest level that the good Lord allowed me to get to. So it just in the form of coaching that is a head coach. And so I've always been a student of the game. Football has come natural to me as far as X's and O's and understanding defenses and how to attack them. And, I've always had a natural leadership ability, being that I've been a quarterback my whole career. And so they just kind of came together once I started coaching. But I think that's just kind of, it's really up to the individual. The guys who have been assistant coaches their whole career, and there's nothing wrong with that. I guess they have to really just look at their priorities and see if being a head coach or being a leader is something that they really truly aspire to be. And if so, then you have to begin to act like that every day. The one thing I tell guys, and not to prolong the conversation, but like some of my assistant coaches, you have to have the mindset that you're a head coach every day because you are. If you're the wide receivers coach, you're the head coach of the wide receivers. If you're the cornerbacks coach, you are the head coach of the cornerbacks. And if you treat it that way, if you carry yourself that way, then the promotions start coming because you're already positioning yourself to be in charge because you take that mindset that you're in charge every single day.
Coach, man, you'll have people running through brick walls for you with all this information you giving, man. So what do you actually tell the players when they actually going to pick a degree? Like, do you give them any insight on that? Because you say you got your degree in business, but you actually got into the coaching area. So how do you go about that?
Well, what I tell guys is this, find out what you're passionate about. I went to college as an engineering major. Why did I pick engineering? Well, one, I was really good at math. My uncle is still an engineer to this day. My aunt is still an engineer to this day. Well, she may be retired by now, but, was an engineer for forever, as long as I can remember. My mom, who was a great in math, was a math teacher, But so when I went to college, it was like, well, I got to do something with math because I'm so good with numbers. And so you take those interests, exams or whatever they are, questionnaires, and it tells you what you're probably best at. And engineering, mine came out as engineering. And so that's why I picked engineering. Well, I found out really quickly about a semester in that this isn't the life I want to live. Engineers are kind of introverted people. They work behind a desk, most of the time. And that's just not how I am. I'm a lot more extroverted. I like interacting with people. I like going out and doing things. And so I changed from engineering. Then I picked communications. And then after about a semester of communications, once I realized how thick this Southern drawl was and that I would never be able to be on TV or radio or something like that nationally with this thick Southern drawl I have, I said, well, let me pick something else. So then I chose marketing because obviously, dealing with people, selling yourself, selling things is something that I'm pretty good at. And that's now as a recruiter, that's what I do. I sell Florida A&M, but I tell the guys all the time, find something that you're passionate about, that you're good at. Because even with football, the one thing I've learned, and we always tell our coaches to recruit guys that love football, but to me, and it's just my philosophy, it's not necessarily football that we love, it's the fact that we get to compete every day, all the time. Every single rep is a chance to compete against another person to show that you're better than them. So figure out what that is outside of ball. If you look, guys are very passionate about drawing. Some are passionate about music. Some are passionate about doing things with their hands. So figure out what that thing is that you're thinking about other than football all the time and find a way to get people to pay you for it.
Now, one of the things I did mention in the intro, why I say Coach Simmons, he was always passionate, about doing things and helping people in the community because it's the truth. And Coach Simmons and his other coach, who's on the coaching staff named Coach Alex Jackson. And if y'all, like I say, I didn't mention this in the intro neither, but Coach Simmons, he went on to be a starter at Clemson, and Coach Alex Jackson, he started at Georgia. Would y'all believe these two guys actually was my swimming coach? Yes, that's right. They was lifeguard in Quincy, Florida. These two guys helped me. I ain't know not a tap about swimming. We going, my brothers, my mama used to drop us off, pay that 50 cents. And yeah, I know that sounds crazy to some of the younger crowd, but yeah, we used to pay 50 cents for swimming lesson. And we go back there. It was really just me and my brothers. And, God bless it, did Charles Harper some days he would, teach me. And it's amazing how even in high school, I end up running into these guys again. And like I say, Charles Harper, he was helping me on the defensive end. Coach Willie Simmons, he was helping the guys out on the offensive end. And this when they was at Clemson. These guys coming back on spring break and summer break and helping us out during certain times. And, it's amazing just to see him as a head coach and to know that he was already doing that before time. So, Coach, I just want to say, thank you for, all the things you are doing for the community of Gaston County and all the great things that you continue to do for not just your guys on the team, but the city of Tallahassee.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Of course, I wouldn't be where I am today without the help of countless individuals, growing up in Quincy. So, that's just one thing we always talked about, kind of paying it forward, even before the movie came out. We always talked, me, Shawana Moore, Charles Harper, Alex Jackson, all of us that were good students and good athletes who had influence. We always talked about how we could get back to Gaston County one day. And now you look up, you see guys like Charles G., an attorney there in Orlando, Darrell Lee, Freddie Figures, just a lot of individuals, those same individuals that I named earlier. A lot of us are doing great things in the community because we are passionate about where we grew up. We see a need there. There's a lot of talented individuals that come out of that county if you just give them the right push, and that's just something I truly believe in. And so, like I said, I wouldn't be where I am without help. And so now it's my job to pay that forward to the next generation because, growing up now in the middle school or the high school, or even the elementary school, there's another, Willie Simmons, there's another Freddie Figures, there's another Darrell Lee, there's another Dexter Jackson or, just the countless people who made out of Gaston County have been successful. So I think that's part of our platform. And, I embrace that. I know it comes with the territory, but it gives me joy and satisfaction to know that, at the end of the day, we are doing good. In our hometown.
Great, man. I love hearing that. And Coach, now I gotta get down to the business right now. Now, this is something I really want to see happen. Now, hey, before he speak, this is just me asking the question. Or I know this might go viral or something. I don't know. Can we ever get a FAMU versus Florida State football game to at least bring the community together? I know they had an article out about this probably about 7 or 8 years ago, saying it would divide the city. But with the times now, with things going on, I think it would actually help bring the city together because a lot of people see Florida State play, but I know a lot of Florida State fans will never see FAMU besides the news. And FAMU is a great organization. They got some awesome talent for us, the band, the students, and the faculty have, I'm talking about exceptional knowledge, and it'll be something I think will be great for the community to experience. I never understand why a LSU can't play a Southern. You know, it's just give me your thoughts on it.
Well, I think a lot of it, honestly, has to deal with the fact that, and not to bring up, wounds from the past, but when the basketball teams used to play, there was a huge scuffle at the Civic Center, and I think that's something that really put a black cloud over both institutions. You're talking about two great academic institutions, two institutions who have a lot of pride, a lot of tradition, a lot of history. We don't ever want to see anything negative, and so that brought a huge dark cloud over both programs. You got to think about it; these guys hang out together. Tallahassee is a relatively small town. If you go to Florida State, you go to FAMU, you're African American, you hang out together. Everybody goes to the moon. Everybody goes to top flight. It's not FAMU's club or FSU's club. We all hang out at the same places. So naturally, the competitive juices come out, and sometimes in those situations, emotions boil over. But at the end of the day, I think it will be something that, once cooler heads prevailed and the powers that be talked about it and you market it the right way, it can happen. Southern and LSU actually going to play. Matter of fact, I think it's next season. They just scheduled a game. I think, like I said, in 21 or something like that. So it's going to happen there, and I'm sure they have the same dynamic. Being a HBCU and a PWI being in the same city, that are both very good. And so down the line, I think it's possible. Like I said, it's just something that has to be really thought out and played. And, and everybody has to understand why the games are played. We go play Central Florida or Florida or whoever for those guaranteed games. Yes, we love to go and beat them and be competitive. But we play those games mainly for the financial gain that comes with it, because that's how we support our non-revenue sports, is by playing these guaranteed games. So if they ever schedule a game between Florida State and FAMU, it's not necessarily for FAMU to go and beat Florida State. Now, if I'm coaching, that's going to be my mission, to go over there and beat them. Just like every game I coach, I prepare to win. But again, the point of those games is for the revenue to be shifted from those institutions, Power 5 institutions that have an abundance of wealth, down to low resource institutions like Florida A&M. So I think that'll be something that just has to be discussed, because what'll happen if we go and the score gets out of hand and say they score a late touchdown or something like that, do a trick play, stuff that happens in football, then you have that bad blood in the city. And that's just something that you don't want. Tallahassee is a much better place when both FAMU and Florida State are doing well on the football field, on the courts, academically. And we want to keep it that way as much as possible. So, again, not completely out of the cards, but just a conversation that had to be had by the powers that be to make sure that we promote it and market it the right way.
Great answer, Coach. I know that's a coach answer, but he told the truth, though. and a lot of what he said, that's what I heard from other people in the community and other people I done spoke with, about that. And that's something that a lot of people say, but I think it's a conversation that need to happen, because I know a lot of people will probably have a greater appreciation for FAM because they just know them because they see the flags and the tags. So I know they would really love to actually get to see the environment, but like he say, that thing might get triggered now, fam, get out there and go to whooping something. So I don't know. I do agree with that point. Now, Coach, I want to ask you this too. Shout out to your wife, Shay Simmons. Now, as far as with coaching, you were coaching at Prairie View at the time. What did your wife say when you, because see, me and my co-host, we got wives too. And I can only imagine that we were coaching and we done got a call from their alma mater and talking about coming and being the head coach. What did she say when you came in there with the initial speak? I'm talking about before the first time you told her about it. Did she jump up, go pack her bags ASAP? Give me some insight on that.
Well, it wasn't necessarily like that. One thing, my wife is a rattler through and through. She's the 4th generation rattler. Actually, our son Trey is a 5th generation rattler. He's graduating next year from the university. So, orange and green runs through her veins, and so she follows the program. She always has, and so even during those years when I was at Prairie View or even Alcorn, and FAMU wasn't doing so great, it was a topic of conversation every now and then. But the program wasn't in a good place. There was just, too much change within the administration, a lot of change within the athletic department. And, she's not a business major. Well, she is a business major. I'm sorry. She's not a marketing major, but she's a business major. So one thing she's always talked about is, protecting our brand. And she knows I'm passionate about coaching. She knows that, success is something that drives me. And we always want to make sure we take the right job. It's not necessarily, the money or the location. It has to be the right job at the right time. And so if FAM had come calling maybe the year before, I don't know if I would have entertained it, but when they did call, the timing was right, the situation was right. And that's really all we cared about. So, the fact that it was FAMU probably made the conversation last a little bit longer because we knew that we're coming home. We're both from here. We both grew up here and everyone knows us. And so we had to talk about that piece and that component of it. But the main conversation was, is it the right job? Is it the right time? And we both, prayed about it. And we both, the Spirit led us that it was the right time, the right opportunity, the right situation, to come home. And we jumped at the opportunity. And I don't think either one of us has regretted that decision, to this day.
All right, Coach, I got 2 more questions for you. Do you still talk to Dabo Swinney, and how often do you talk to him, or do you still talk to Tommy Bowden, and how often do you talk to him?
Well, obviously, Tommy's retired, so he, other than doing some speaking engagements and a lot of things with FCA, he has a lot more free time. And so I talk to Tommy a lot more than Dabo. Tommy's kind of become my mentor in coaching. During the season, it's hard to really get a hold of head coaches. They're doing interviews, they're coaching, preparing for games. In the off season, they're trying to vacation and spend time with their family. So, Dabo and I don't talk as much. If I have a question about something, I'll shoot him a text, or I congratulate him after every game, every win. And, as simple as, hey, great win. And he sends back the tiger emoji. And I know that means thank you, So that's kind of our relationship when we see each other at coaching conventions, or if I really need something, he's always there for me. But Tommy's been more accessible and probably, like I said, more of a true mentor because he does have that free time. But I try to keep in contact with all the coaches I've come in contact with. Rick Stockstill, who recruited me to Clemson, who's the head coach at MTSU, gave me my first job. Same thing. We still stay in touch. Even Jay Hobson, a guy I worked for at Alcorn, and is head coach at Southern Miss now. So again, I truly believe in keeping relationships open, not burning bridges. I think it helps you in your profession, your career, whatever career you choose. Don't burn those bridges, even if there was you left under bad terms or under precarious situations. Keep those bridges open, because you never know who may be the person that gives you that letter of recommendation or that reference, who gets you the next job. And it might just be that very person that you thought that didn't like you, or that y'all had an argument or disagreement at some point. You'll be surprised at, who gets those calls. I've gotten plenty of opportunities and job opportunities from people. And the reference was somebody I least expected to give me that reference. So, but keep all those relationships sound and open, and allow God to move in ways through people that, again, sometimes we don't even understand.
Coach, I saw you one time before you got your first head coaching job. I just want to see, do you remember this? You was in the barbershop, and I guess you had interviewed for the FAMU job, and you eventually end up taking the Prairie View job. But I was hoping, I said to you that day, man, I hope you get that head coaching job at Alabama State. Because for y'all who don't know, at that time, it was head coaching job opening at FAMU, Alabama State, and Prairie View A&M. So I would kind of hope, because I went to Alabama State, y'all, for who y'all don't know, and I would kind of wish, because I already knew he was a top-notch coach, because at that time, they coming off a SWAC championship with Alcorn, and I was kind of wishing, even being selfish at the same time, but it really didn't matter if you went to FAMU too. But I wonder, do you remember me saying that to you? I talked to you.
Well, between you and Terry Hutley, both of y'all trying to get me to Alabama State. So, but no, man, there's a lot of Alabama State alum here in this area, and so it's always been a job that's always kind of been on my radar, at this level, and it was just weird that you had 3 really good jobs open at the time. You had FAMU, you had Alabama State, and you had Prairie View A&M, and just looking and it's one of those deals where kind of you can't go wrong. And Prairie View was the first one to offer me the opportunity. And I had a great meeting with their athletic director and felt great about the vision of the program, which direction they were heading. And I jumped at it. And had it been Alabama State, had they made the same decision or called me earlier, I probably would have been in Montgomery. So who knows? Again, God works in mysterious ways, and he opened the job up. That was the right one at the right time. And, again, we hadn't looked back since. But, yeah, I do remember that. And, it's one of those deals where between this job, Alabama State, and Prairie View, I had probably more people speaking up for this one than Alabama State just because of the proximity and wanting to see me closer to home.
Well, Coach, I thank you for coming on. I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor right now to speak to the Rattler Nation about upcoming events. If you guys are still going to play that game in Miami against Albany, the floor is yours.
Well, the biggest thing during this time is just to encourage everyone to stay positive. These are uncharted, waters for us all. And like I told my team, adversity is one of those things that we can't control. We don't control when it comes. We don't control what form it comes in. All we can control is how we react and respond to it. So, during this tough time, get closer to your loved ones, rebuild bridges that have been broken, take this valuable time to spend with your family and really connect with your kids and your spouses and your significant others and all of those people. Family's going to be here. Whenever it opens back up, I don't know the answer to that. I don't make those decisions, but it will eventually. We will play football, at what date, what start date, I don't know. But, at some point we will resume football again, just like we'll resume all other sports and everything else will go back to normal. But in the meantime, like I said, I think the worst thing we can do is be negative. Let a lot of frustrations of the unknown really, take us to bad places and allow us to, do bad things, and just listen to the experts, try to social distance as much as possible to, the sooner we can get back to normal, the sooner we can get a hold of this thing, the sooner we can get back to normal. And so, listen to the experts, even the states and places that are starting to open back up, still be smart, still go out and protect yourself and just, again, but I think, the good Lord works in mysterious ways. I say that multiple times during this call, and he's still in control. At the end of the day, regardless of what's going on, if it seems chaotic or whatever, he's still moving in ways that none of us can understand. And so that gives me comfort, that gives me peace of mind. And I'm just working. Right now, my computer screen is on. I'm watching film from last season, trying to get better because at some point, will resume, and I want to make sure I'm prepared. I hope my team, my players, my coaches are doing the exact same thing, that they're working, that they're lifting weights and exercising and studying film and doing all that, because, again, we will eventually resume normal activity. So, again, be blessed, stay positive, understand that the good Lord still sits high and looks low, and, at some point we'll get back to normal. But that's really all I have. We're going to meet later on today, matter of fact, to talk about scheduling for the fall, some possible scenarios of what the season may look like, because right now we don't really have the answer yet. We have to wait kind of a few more days, weeks, maybe a month to see kind of how this thing shifts to determine when it's safe to get everyone back out there for football and fans in the stands, because that is a huge part of the pageantry, not just us playing football. It's the pageantry of having the fans there, the band there, the students there, and everyone else. So we're trying to figure out how we can get to that as quickly as possible.
Well, Coach, I just want to say thank you again for coming on. And I got to show you love, and I had to show you props because you and Coach Allen Jackson, y'all doing a great job. And y'all other Coach Black, all y'all coaches, man, doing a great job. Now, I know y'all know FAMU for offense, but y'all, when y'all go to these games, check out that defense, boy, because them boys out there bite. I love that number 5. That line, it's a linebacker. I don't know. I think he was number 52. I love watching him. And I'm telling y'all, man, these guys got a top-notch program going on over there. Y'all see North Dakota State doing a lot of things at this level, but I'm telling y'all, if Coach Simmons and them continue to do what they do, they're going to be the next to North Dakota State, and they might even end up taking over HBCU hand down, period, which they doing that right now. And I got to say, if y'all get a chance as well, they got a recruit coming in. I got to see him live in person. I was amazed when I saw him, and then I was so happy to see that FAMU got him. He go by the name of T. Smith. He played at Bluntstown. He was number 1. I watched him in the state championship game. He tore up the scene. I went beside him. I ain't even got no team. So it just, and not to disregard the other running backs they already got. I don't know their names. I know they got number 13 and 23. Some top-notch running backs too. So when y'all get a chance, go out there, support the Rattlers, man. Donate to them. Coach Simmons and the whole coaching staff doing an amazing job. I love what I'm seeing. And like I say, man, this is a hometown hero for me. And I'm just happy for him. And I love to see what he's doing right now. And I want to say rest in peace to Willie Simmons Sr. Rest in peace to Billy Simmons, which is his mom. And Willie Simmons Sr., of course, that's his dad. And rest in peace to Charles Harper, which was one of his former teammates and a guy who taught me a lot as well. So we're going to go ahead and get on up out of here. I'm going to leave y'all like I always leave y'all. Keep your head up and not down, or else you'll fall to the ground. It's the Life in Football podcast. Catch you next time.
You are now listening to the Life in Football podcast. Check out the new website, lifeinfootball.com. Once again, the website is lifeinfootball.com. Thanks for listening.
This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.